Hey guys, hey everybody, and welcome to Modern Ukrainian Homestead channel. And guess what we are doing today? These guys are dismounting the panels because I am tired and fed up of all this. I think it's time to get rid of solar. It works not great, it produces almost nothing, so I'm actually taking it all down and giving it away to some charity. Yeah. Did you buy it? Well, no, definitely no, of course not, but we are doing the temporary thing that has to be done because all the panels has to be dismounted, and I am adding solar optimizers. And let me go down and I will tell you what exactly do they look like, how do they look like, and before we do that, I will also tell you that I'm adding 3 panels here and 2 panels on that side, which is like east we have here on that side, and the west actually is on that side. That's the sun, where the sun sets. So this will be my evening peak and this will be my morning peak. Additional 1 kilowatt and 1.5 kilowatt of panels. So, well, and in order to do this, because I'm combining, you see, the different surfaces, right? And my Deye inverter has got only like 2 MPPT trackers, which is like, this is for one and that is for another one. So how do I combine this? Only with the help of the solar optimizers. That's the only way you can do this. There is no possible way to do this without whatever optimizers, right? And yeah, that's what we have to do. We have to dismantle all the panels and then to mount them back on. And the trouble is that the manufacturer of the solar equipment that I've been working with, which is Deye, didn't have the product available at the time but the system was mounted. So that's why it cost me a little bit more than it could have cost if I was doing this initially. But this is something that I suggest you guys do when you are mounting your system for the first time, because that's eventually what you have to do. Yeah, but take a look. What kind of view do I have? This is absolutely amazingly crazy. Or crazily amazing, I don't know, how do you say? Open field, and a little bit of civilization starts here. Right? And on the other side, it looks like this. It's so nice when it's summer. Yeah, let me go down or let's just wait and see how the guys will take the panel down, because this is something that you not really often see. You see that they did connect it to themselves, so it sits on ropes, and then the panel will go down. Slowly and steadily. You don't have to rush, of course, because, well, sorry about the wind. You may see these guys rotating. You basically see the one on the top one. Yeah, that's how the panel goes down. Slowly and steadily. I mean, I know how to do this, but I cannot do this myself because I've got only 2 hands, and there has to be at least 6, because 4 hands are actually here on the panel, and 2 more are taking taking it from the bottom. That's how it works. Yeah. And now slowly. Okay, well, anyways, the panel will go down, so am I, and let me show you how the optimizers look. Okay, and here how the optimizers look like. That's the box, how they arrived. I mean, each of them has a serial, you see. Everything is pretty much great. This is the model number. All those are Deye, and a couple of them are unpacked, taken out from the boxes, but the box generally looks like this, and there has to be quite a number of those. Like, each of them is sealed, each of them has a label, serial, like everything, because that's a device that has certain warranty. I mean, that's a serious device, and it does a great job. I mean, it should. We haven't seen them in action yet, but here is how it looks if taken out of the box. So again, what do we have? Again, we have the serial number, QR code, Here are the specs: 700 watts, 80 volts max input. You see the voltage range, you see the max current. I mean, and everything is pretty simple and straightforward. So where we have to input the panel connectors to the plus and minus. I don't know which one. I mean, theoretically you can unwind probably the lower one, the bottom one. And on the outs, you just connect them between themselves, like as you are connecting the string of panels, and that's it. That's very easy. In my specific case, like, they are really needed to combine the several different angles of the roof, like one and another one. And here are the panels that were taken down from here at this time. And yeah, the new panels, where did he put them? Because I'm adding, oh, there they are. 5 more panels. Well, exactly same manufacturer, exactly same size, same model, so like nothing different, just like maybe the difference in the year of production, but I don't care because the optimizers will be taking care of all that. And this is how another panel goes down. Down, 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 down. And it goes like this. Slowly and steadily. One has to guide, 2 others have to move it down. And then acceptance. Unconnect the ropes and put it somewhere here. Like this. Okay, so the guys had finished the setup on this part of house. So this is the MPPT1, PV1 and PV2 inputs of this hybrid inverter, and basically we have connected them in those sequence. 3 here, 5 top here. That's the PV1. Then 4 from here and 4 from here. They form PV2. And let's go and check what's the open circuit voltage, because this is actually the moment of truth, how the optimizers will unify them, and if they will. So what I have to do, I have actually switched off the PV right now. You see, it's in off position. I have prepared the measuring device for you. It's set on DC, and we will be measuring this and this. So these are the inputs, plus and minus respectively. Okay, let me do this. So you see, let me show you so you will see, like in one screen, 3, 6, 3. And let me check the same for here. 363, 362, and then maybe it went 1 volt lower here. No, 360, yeah, well, I would say volt in volt. Absolutely same. Absolutely same, which is insane, I would say. This is absolutely insanely similar and same. So let's do the launch. Let's do the launch. And let's see how it will start actually performing. Yeah, it started picking up. Let's check specifically how does it go on the PV1, where we have the optimizers. On PV2 we have 10 panels without optimizers yet, and on PV1 we have how many? We have 4 panels on one on the lower slope. We have 3 and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 and 7, 13. It should be 9 panels. It should be, yeah, it's 9 panels on the other slope, that is south one, and 3 that go to the west actually. And you see how it works. It works absolutely amazing, I would say. Perfect. Perfect. It goes exactly as I was expecting it to go. What do I expect to get from here? I expect to have a much nicer and smoother curve during the day because I will have more production in the evening and I will have more production in the morning. That's what I expect. And of course, this combination allows to not worry about snow building up on those slopes which are having quite high slope, and they will be much better for winter production. So I would say this is as good as it should be. Hey guys, so today morning 9 a.m. it's the first day after the installation is fully finished, and we can talk about some stats and we can check some measurements and compare it to similar days of solar productivity of the earlier days in August, for example. But let me tell you this, it works. So this is PV2, where we have two panels of this connected in one series with these 10. They have, as you may clearly see, very, very different angle and azimuth, and well, it just works. I mean, from all those stuff in 9 a.m. right now, it goes almost 4 kilowatts, like 3.9, I think. We will see it in the stats. I'm preparing a table for you just to compare. But about 4 kilowatts is going from here. So, I mean, it works absolutely perfectly, combining different angles and different azimuths and different slopes, whatever. But the more amazing effect is on that side, where we have the PV1 of my Deye, and it has two parallel MPPT strings. So let me go there and explain it to you. So I'm on the other side, and let me explain you what happens here. As you may see, the sun is over there. It like shines to this place, and these panels are shaded fully, and these a little bit as well. But to explain you how the panels are laid out, so this is the MPPT1, PV1, so-called on the input, which has two strings in parallel. String number 1 has 3 of these panels and 5 of those top ones. So they are laid out in album layout. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one from over here. That's the like parallel string number 1, and string number 2 combines those 4. Then these 3 that are in the book layout, okay, and that one that is in album layout closer to the center. And as you may clearly see, the the first parallel string of PV1 has got these 3 shaded, right? It doesn't work in perfect conditions. The parallel string of the second one has this shaded, like I would say half, 50% maybe even more, and a little bit of that one panel, like the angle. You see, it's also shaded. Guess how much power am I getting at 9 a.m. at this point? 2.7 kilowatts out of it. That's crazily lot. That is absolutely crazily lot for this kind of setup and for this kind of angles at this moment, at this point. So I mean, the shading effect is mitigated absolutely and fully. Like the optimizers works in its absolute perfect condition. And let me go and check and show you how exactly did it hide into and how does it like sit and where in the end and how it appears. Because like you cannot see them in there, but they are there. Okay, so I'm at those bottom 4 panels that are like nearly near the entrance. And here's the place where the optimizer sits. You see it has those clamps. Very easy, very neatly, very nicely. Nothing specific. The wiring goes from panel to one, which is in, and the other one just like interconnects them between one another. And that's it. They are there, but you don't see them. They are hidden fully. And I mean, if you would try to take it off, I mean, that really requires a lot of force to do this. So the wind won't blow it off. Absolutely not. So yeah, think about this, and if you have this kind of task that has to combine very different angles, for example, like this or this, and with this, then you definitely can use this option. If you have only one MPPT, for example. So just like think about it. Let's go and check the stats now. And guys, I didn't mention one important thing. So for example, in my case, in my specific case, since I was combining two very different slopes and azimuths, obviously, I had to use the optimizer below each of the panels. So each of them has an optimizer underneath. But you may face the question, the situation actually, if you have a solar array, for example, which is like really having nice sun that shines on it all the time through the day. But what I've noticed that during the low sun times, it's again October till February, the number of these panels, like maybe two, and like eventually both of them, because this is the layout of two rows of panels, right? They are getting shade on the sunset from this kind of from this roof, and well, why not to add the optimizer here, specifically only for the panels that will be getting shade. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will have to double check it, but I think that maybe 4 of them will definitely do the trick. And yeah, in this case, the whole lot of other panels will never ever be reduced in production due to the shading of the first couple of them. Right? Because, like in my case, that's the string number 1, and that's the string number 2. So obviously, I mean, I'm losing the production of all the other panels in the string if I'm getting the shade on only one of them. And yeah, optimizer will resolve the situation. So I'm thinking just like, why not to buy like 4 more, maybe 6 more, and just like to add them to this part that is going to be shaded at some point, and that will be it. So yeah, let's go and check the sets. And the situations with the stats for today will not be relevant, absolutely, because the midday and it's cloudy, you see, that's where the sun is. But let's try to figure out as much as possible from this.
And hey guys, from here, from the other place, let me tell you this. I'm in Solarman Smart where we can check all our stats. I believe you can see the screen. And since this video is being shot a day after the just like recently that I've been showing you the weather from, that's because mainly yesterday I was filming this and like getting it to production and put a release for it for my Ukrainian channel. And for you guys, I'm doing this just like one day later. So you have the preference of having one day more stats gathered. So you will see more prominently how much does it perform right now. So take a look. The second day, it's Saturday right now. It was absolutely perfect in terms of no clouds at all. However, the day was really, really hot. And I mean, the temperature was quite a number of degrees Celsius in general higher than it used to be to the days I'm going to compare with. So first of all, take a look at this graph and take a look at the graph at yesterday. You see there were really the cloudy area is visible really nicely. But what I want to check is the 8th and the 1st and 2nd of August, right? So you see the graph here, that's for the 8th, that's for the 2nd, and that's for the 1st. And just like take a look at these areas, for example, like this one and this one. I mean, of course, the top one does matter as well, because right now we can definitely see somewhere around 11 kilowatts. And if you will compare, for example, to these 17s, you will see that these areas have got much nicer and smoother curve than it was on those. It was really much stepper. Same applies to the sunset curve that is now also going down a little bit smoother. And I mean, the top value is gained a bit, so it's over 12 kilowatts right now. And it had been over 12 kilowatts yesterday several times as well. But yeah, yesterday clouds. Now let's go deeper and let me show you the exactly how the PV is performed, because that's what is the most interesting thing. Yeah. So first of all, take a look how did perform it on before, right? So that's the 1st of August. You see how the blue curve is the PV1, how the PV1 lately start like this piece. It should have been like smooth, but it is not. It's clearly like going down and then strictly high up. That's what happened on the first, and this pattern you can see on the second, and the same pattern goes for the 8th of August, right? But take a look, how does it look on the 16th and 17th? It's smooth, right? That's the PV that has 16 panels. That's the side of the house that has double parallel strings. But look how the red curve is no different. That one is really heavily shifted to the early morning production because, like, take a look at the 8th, right? It is not on top. The top is around like 12 1 midday, clearly. But what happens on the 17th, the top is actually happening from 10:45 and lasts until 1 p.m. Right, so that's really moved to the early morning side, right? But then let's go and check how the blue curve works. The top is peaking from around 12 until 1, well, let's say 1:30 p.m., right? But what happens later, it's moved really crazily. So now we have a clear peak at 1 p.m. and how much better is this area for the sunset. So that's what I expected, and that's what I have. And now let me pause this one. Let me get you back to the exact values because I have prepared a table for you. And I am back here again, and I have prepared a table for you. Let me explain you shortly. So this is the data that was taken, or like I roughly taken at the moment of exact hour: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a.m., 11, and then in the European mode, like 13, 14. 13 means 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and so on. I took the exact value, how much the PV1 and PV2 were performing in terms of how much kilowatts of power were they generating on the 1st, 2nd, and 8th of August, and then 14th, 15th. They are not relevant because I took only the data once the optimizers were mounted, and you can definitely see that, for example, for PV1, the max value, let me find you the max value, how big it was, like 604 I see here. 613 was on the 1st of August before. And what happens right now is that we have how much it was shooting 7. It was shooting 731 even at some point, exactly on the 16th, for example. It was shooting at some point 731 kilowatts. So that's a lot. That's definitely a difference. Same applies for PV2, but you will not see the huge max difference there. But let's try and find some. So 484, and then here it's 469, the max value, and then here 477. How much did we have during these days for PV2? It was 5 on the 16th, and it was 5 several times on today on the 17th. So that's actually also quite good. But the main thing is this one. So I took the average for both. So I combined them all together. And then took the average between the three. So giving in some average examples. So how in the good actually August day the panel should perform. I know, guys, because like this first and second were like exactly 15 days before. So technically the sun is much lower now because like each day the day is like couple of minutes shorter, and it's the sun rises later and sets earlier, so that's the day is becoming shorter, and the angle goes down gradually with each day right now until Christmas, almost. And like I know this, but let's just do this comparison and we will understand how actually it performs. And what I had taken, I compared the exact hourly measurement that were taken during the 16th and 17th, and like calculated the gain or possible loss compared to what was before. Let me tell you this: I added up 20% of panels, 20% in kilowatts. But you know that two of them look on the east and three of them look on the west. They will never ever at the same time produce the max value, right? And what do we see here? That during, for example, the early morning hours, there were times when there is like 41, 47, 43, 31% of increase. And that's crazy. And that's really a lot because from 20% of panels, I'm getting at that certain hours, at that certain time, because instead of 2.52 kilowatts, I was getting 356, 362 for the yesterday and today, and that's really a lot. That's not 20%, that's much more. What happens in the evening? The same story, about 32%, 23%, 22%. That was happening yesterday. And for today, the values are less because it was really, as I told you, it was really, really hot. It's several Celsius degrees hotter today than it was on the 1st, 2nd, or 8th of August. And that means the panels were working not in optimal conditions. But also, there is one thing to understand: you will never ever see like 20% gain. I was not aiming for that. I was aiming for the morning peak, for the evening peak, and that result is there. Absolutely. But also, what you have to understand that this gain loss stuff does not account for how much the system should have been producing, like if this value would have been approximated to the insolation that was happening today and yesterday. And let me tell you this: I have 20 kilowatt Huawei where I can take the calculations from, and I can tell you this, that during today it was producing 5.6% less than it was producing at that day's first, second, and eighth. And yesterday the production nominally was even more or less. So you can guess that the, so to say, comparison base should be more. So instead of only this percentage of gains, you should also, for example, for tomorrow, you should definitely add those 5.6% less comparison base. So you should not compare to these values, but to these values that are less, minus 5.6%. In general, what can I say? I'm more than happy with the result. It works as it should. It works amazingly. I mean, yeah, it did cost some money, and it would have been so much cheaper, like just like to do this from the very beginning if I knew. But well, I know it now, and I did it now. And if I would ever do this again, and if I will have this like this kind of roof, I would definitely recommend doing this because this will allow you to not use any other place to mount your panels. And that's definitely worth it, I would say. And that's actually a good case for your autonomous stuff. What I expect from these optimizers is to work even more efficiently during the winter time when the sun is low, from October until February, until the end of February. I expect them to be boosting production really, really heavily. Yeah, that's my message for you for today. Thanks for watching until now, and see you later. I have to finish my stuff with the wind turbines, and that's what I will be doing really, really next. Thanks. Bye.